Hello and welcome to The Rate Stuff, your essential guide to all things mortgage. I'm Jack Izzard.
And I'm Peter Stimson.
And I can confirm it is the real Peter Stimson sitting next to me. In fact, was it prawn cocktail crisps you had at lunchtime, Peter?
It was, Jack, yes.
I thought I could tell. Now, the reason I'm checking it's the real Peter and not some AI-generated bot sitting next to me is because today's topic is the rise of the machines. Yes, AI is coming, but is it coming for your job? Is it coming for your customers? These are the questions that mortgage brokers are asking themselves. And I guess my question for you, Peter, is how afraid should they be?
Well, we know brokers are a little bit worried about this. There is change coming. It's coming quite fast, but I think with the right adaptation and the right changes brokers put in place, there's lots of opportunity out there for brokers.
Okay, so some good news ahead, hopefully. But to help us make sense of AI and what it means for the mortgage market, we're going to be joined here on the sofa by someone who really knows what they're talking about.
And the clue is, it's not us.
Yes, we're going to have a real-life tech and AI expert joining us. But stay with us for that coming up after the market update. Well, let's start back in the realms of the human. And where are we with the mortgage market? Well, if it's all changing AI, it's kind of business as usual, really, in terms of the market. We had no change to the base rate in September. We've had 3 base rate cuts so far this year. Peter, the chances of another cut coming by the end of the year looking a bit slim, you think?
Yeah, they're receding rapidly at the moment. Inflation's high, it's at 3.8%. It's looking like it's probably going to be north of 4 for September when CPI is announced shortly. So I think the chances of another cut this year are slim. So next cut at the moment, probably looking at like February next year is probably my best guess. It really depends on where inflation goes and what's announced in Roger Reeves' budget, really, I guess.
Okay, so that means that we're really not seeing very much on the swaps, are we?
No, swap graph going up now. You can see that, swaps have been bumping along roughly where they are for the last sort of 3 or 4 months. And it's kind of a metaphor for the UK economy, really. Bumping along, not really going anywhere.
Yeah, flat as a pancake. Things are tripping along quite nicely, though, on the activity front. We saw 103,610 homes change hands in August. That was a 2% increase on July. Looking ahead at one of the lead indicators, so mortgage approvals data from the Bank of England, well, that's pretty breezy as well. In July, we saw the number of purchases for home purchases approved 11% up on the monthly average so far this year. On the Remo front, Peter, things really bubbling along quite nicely.
Yep.
Remo's up 39% on the monthly average so far. So there is a fair bit of mortgage activity going on there.
Yes.
But I guess we're now at that sort of wait and see point. Some buyers will be thinking, should I delay my purchase until after that budget?
Yeah, there's nervousness about, what the Chancellor's going to do. There was obviously the rumour about, increasing stamp duty above 500,000 or 1.5 million. Obviously the rumoured leaks from the Treasury. So all our eyes are going to be on November, what comes out from there, whether she decides to, radically change stamp duty or council tax, or whether she just leaves things well alone. There's obviously a black hole somewhere between 20 and 40 billion. So, yeah, it's really just wait and see at this stage. I mean, the market's, doing okay, but there is a little bit of wait and see at the moment.
Okay, well, that's very much the realm of the human. Stay with us as we enter the realm of the machines. Well, to help us sort fact from fiction, myth from reality on AI, we're joined by a genuine AI expert, Stelios Constantinidis from MQube, the tech company. Welcome to The Rate Stuff.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Well, it's great to have you here. So, Stelios, you're an expert on all things AI. Let's just start off by saying where AI is, because we talk about AI is coming. It's already here, isn't it? And it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, and we're using it every day. It's on our social apps like Instagram or TikTok. Every time we get recommended video to watch, that's powered by recommendation algorithms that use AI. Every time we do a Stimson meetings, a meeting on Teams, and at the end of it, we get a nice transcript of what happened in the conversation. That's AI powered.
Yeah.
Maybe the most well-known example of AI right now is ChatGPT.
Yeah,
but
so
that's a few things we use every day.
So it's there in everyday life, but we just don't realize. And obviously in the mortgage world, where we're seeing a few lenders using AI now, they're mostly using it for underwriting, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. So lenders like MPowered or the Nottingham Building Society are using it through MQube's technology. An example of how it's used is document extraction, where every time a broker uploads a document onto those platforms, this gets automatically extracted with AI so that the document verification aspect of underwriting can happen super fast and sometimes instantly.
Yeah, so you can see that's making a huge transformational difference to the lenders, but it's a little bit like those algorithms on your social media. It's working in the background. As a broker, you're not aware of this. Peter, brokers will start seeing AI change the way they work, though, quite soon. And I think your money's on sourcing as being one of the areas that they'll see a change in first.
Yeah, I mean, we'll show you in a second, or Stelios will show you in a second, something that his team have been working on. But I mean, more and more information is out there, published by lenders on criteria and also rates. And we think that, that's going to allow brokers and firms to basically source stuff more directly from lenders and from the market as a whole. And I think Stelios is going to demonstrate what that actually means in practical terms.
Well, Stelios, let's see your demo. So just while he gets his laptop fired up, let's just remind people what we're going to see here. This is something that you've built fairly quickly on AI. And talk us through what we're seeing on the screen here, Stelios.
Yeah, 100%. So I'll show you a beta version of something we've built. I should clarify that MQube is not in the business of building a sourcing system in any way or form, but this is an interesting way to see where the future is going. So what I'll do is I'll upload a very simple fact find over here. So I've just uploaded a document. Here it is as an example. So a couple of 2 pages. And the first thing that's happening in this tool is that the information from the fact find gets extracted. So over here now you can see some basic information like what is the annual income of the applicants, what is their deposit, what's their preference for a product in terms of rate. And this is where it becomes interesting. If I click scan eligibility, this is where what you've just said, Peter, is actually happening. The AI is taking the information from the fact find and it's going straight to the lender's website to check whether this specific case is eligible against their criteria. So over here you can see some quick answers for this case against the criteria of a few different lenders. If I click check affordability, this moves on to the next step where again, AI now takes the information from the fact find and it goes on to the websites of the different lenders, but checks and runs actually their affordability calculators in real time. So you can see, for example, we got the maximum loan from Halifax, Barclays, and a few different lenders. If I move on to the next step, this now is looking at the lenders from a rates perspective and the product perspective. So you might see, for the purposes of the demo, some outdated interest rates. That's because this process normally takes about a few minutes to run, so I'm using previous results. But at this point, you can see that this process has actually ranked a few different lenders in terms of suitability. So if I just get onto the last stage, which is create a suitability letter, the AI at this point is summarizing the whole process that has happened so far, and it's giving me back a suitability letter, a summary of the research that has happened. And as a broker who's using this, that means that I can start with a big part of the research already done for me, and I can review
so
it.
Just looking at your demo there, I mean, we can see this is taking out an awful lot of that legwork, that early stage legwork that the brokers do. It's not providing advice. It's not trying to provide advice. So you can see how the broker adds value to that. But this is really quite a challenge to the kind of sourcing models we're seeing at the moment, Peter, isn't it? And I guess as more information is put out there by lenders put more detail about their products online. AI like this will be able to see that and give brokers access to it.
It is. I mean, it's basically, if you can put the information onto a fact find, about a particular client circumstance, which at the moment is kind of having to fit into a box on a sourcing system. If you can put it out there and a lender has a piece of criteria that fits that, you can source for it. The AI will pick that up. It will basically find a product that fits that particular circumstance. So it's basically about, finding open source material. The more lenders put out there about their criteria, about their products, which is gradually happening, the more the AI can pick up on it and the more it can recommend.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we can see the difference it can make to brokers there. It's worth saying, Stelios, that the other thing that I think is going to directly impact brokers is the way consumers use AI. Of course, ChatGPT is the best known AI out there. The numbers using it, they seem to go up exponentially. Where have we got to now on users?
Yeah, so right now it's 700 million weekly users of ChatGPT, and this number is expected to be 1 billion by the end of the year.
Yeah, and the key thing about using AI like that is it's different to using a search engine. And increasingly, we're going to see younger people, under 30s, who've grown up with AI, just not using a search engine like Google, but going straight to AI, putting in details of their earnings, their outgoings, and the AI will be able to come back potentially with mortgage recommendations, certainly live products, right?
100%. But the AI will be able to take all this information and give back information about the mortgage process. But maybe I think, and it's already recommending brokers when you ask this type of questions.
So funnily enough, as we were researching for today, Peter and I had a little play around with ChatGPT, putting in the details of a hypothetical borrower. And yes, the AI did come back with a number of product recommendations, live rates, but this is the good news for brokers. In the recommended actions, number 1, it said, speak to a broker. So brokers are still a key part of the process. And I think that's the kind of note of positivity to take away, is that this is a fantastic tool for borrowers, for brokers, for lenders. It isn't yet replacing brokers, but brokers need to adapt and change, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, from a broker side, brokers need to think of this as a tool that does a lot of the heavy lifting. Yeah. So as we demonstrated here, it can do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of research, in terms of sourcing, in terms of producing recommendation letters. I think there's a generation coming up now who are going to be much more educated or semi-educated in terms of going along with a lot more information armed to a broker about what they want or what they think they want. So it's about adapting to that. And it's also about, thinking about how you get your company or your firm higher up the SEO search from a ChatGPT point of view.
Yeah, well, that's something we'll come back to on the Rate Stuff Extra, the things that brokers can do to play the AI game and use AI as a tool. Final thought, we can see how AI is just changing the rules for consumers, for brokers, for lenders. Should we be scared of it, Stelios?
We shouldn't be scared. If I was a broker, I would try to use this tool, understand what they're doing. I would definitely not bury myself in the sand. I would try to stay up to date with the updates that happen, although sometimes the pace of change is dramatic. And I would try to think, how can I get a slice of those 700 million weekly users coming to my business?
That's a very attractive slice, isn't it? Yes. Well, the final thought from us today is that AI is changing the way we work. It is a threat if you bury your head in the sand and pretend it's not there, because it is coming. And come back and join us on the Rate Stuff Extra when we look at some of those practical things that we can do to make our broker businesses more visible. Stelios, come back and talk us through that. But for now, thank you very much for joining us on the Rate Stuff. I've been Jack Izzard.
I've been Peter Stimson.
And I've been Stelios.
Stelios, lovely to see you. See you next time, everyone, on the Rate Stuff Extra.